Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 57. Ooh, 357 day. This morning, leaving early, as expected. It's a very, very dark day outside. Very warm day outside. It's already 54 degrees, and it's expected to get into the 70s again today. This will be the third day in a row that the temperature reaches the 70s. I see heat lightning off in the distance, or what appears to be heat lightning. It might just be regular lightning far off. This morning is going to be another long trip. Unfortunately, today is supposed to be a day that I'm working, so I tried to get some work done last night, but was not able to. I was busy with the kids and homework and doing stuff for our trip. We may have found a place to stay in Paris, but check-in time ends at 11:45 p.m. and our train will be arriving at 11:20 p.m. and it's about a 20-minute drive. So unless we get there like instantly, it may be an issue. So I emailed the owner and asked if we can check in around midnight, and we'll see what the reply is. If not, it may be a rough night. We will need to find a place to stay, or we may be forced to stay at a hotel, which we'd rather not do. Other than that, today should be a lot of blackjack, and really not really that much else. It's going to be a busy weekend. Tomorrow is Friday, another full day at work. Saturday will be a full day at work. With an evening, I'm taking my son to a soccer game. He plays soccer, and he is honored enough to be on the field with the professional players at the beginning of the game. So we have very good seats to watch that. So we're going to watch that game after he's out on the field. And Saturday night after the game, we'll be meeting with another Advantage player. Sunday night we'll be traveling. Monday and Tuesday we'll be working and traveling in the evening, just a light travel. And then Wednesday we'll be on our trip. So the next time I get to rest will probably be on the airplane to London. So letting you guys go for now, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, just got to the first casino. I'm in the parking garage. It was a horrible drive. The weather got terrible, and it took extra long to get here, so I'm about 10 minutes later than I'd like to be. But I did make it here, safe and sound, getting out of the car right now, and heading in to hopefully make some good money. So I'm going to let you go for right now, and I'll be back to update you after my first session. Alright guys, I am back. So I started recording this, and then I had a little work interruption. They're interrupting my real work of gambling, but so I'm re-recording this section. I go into the first casino, and it's pretty quiet in there, probably because of the weather. It's coming down pretty hard outside, and you'll probably hear it in a minute when I get out of this parking garage. But I walk in, I don't see any kind of Advantage players in there, but I see very little to play. So someone may have been here early in the morning, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning or something, and there just hasn't been a lot of play since then. So I look around and I find one play. It's a small play, but it's a good play. And although this machine's been tightened up lately, with the levels that it was at, it was definitely worth playing. So I sat down, played that, made about $21 or $22 on that one. Moved on to another machine, which is a newer machine, which we've been doing a lot better on now that we tightened it up. I was originally using someone else's numbers, but now I'm using my own numbers for my own area, and I even passed up some things that other people would have played because it doesn't work very well in my area. And I played that one and ended up ahead like $90 on that. Went around the casino and couldn't find much else. I was ahead about 110 or so, and then did one other small play on the way out, and that yielded me about $40. So I ended up ahead 152 or 151 profit. So plus 151 profit. I'm back outside, and you don't hear the rain because it lightened up quite a bit while I was in there. The sky got brighter, so it was very dark when I got here. Had both hands on the wheel, was focusing on driving. Giant trucks on both sides of your car. Don't you hate that? When you have a car that you don't 100% trust in the rain, even though it's got some new tires on there, and you've got trucks on both sides of you, and they're all speeding, and people behind you are speeding, and you feel like the old man driving down the street. But hey, I got here safely. That's what matters. So right now, I'm getting back on the highway and heading toward the next casino. I did do a meeting on my way over to this area. I thought I had timed things right so that by the time the meeting was over, I would just be getting to the casino, but due to the weather, I was delayed a little bit, so I was about 10 minutes late getting out here. But I did need to set up another meeting for this afternoon, and set it up for the perfect time, right when I would be leaving one of my last casinos and heading toward home. And if I had one more to follow that casino, I would still be all right, because it would take an hour to get to that last casino if I decided to go there. So I could do my meeting on the drive. So right now I'm moving on. I have low hopes for the next casino. This area has just been getting worse and worse as far as slot play, as far as table play. So hopefully I can find some decent plays. But if not, we'll move on. We'll find another place to make money. So letting you go for now. Oh, I did get an email back from the host of the house we would be renting in Paris, and he will allow us to check in around midnight. So I will be booking that tonight, hoping to get that new credit card in the mail. If not, I will book it on one of the other ones. Just a brief update here. The one credit card that I did get already with $1,000 in free points, I do have 128,000 points on that already. So that's like $1,280 that I'll be using toward my bill. So that's really good. So worst case, I can put more Europe stuff on that one and get the 1.5% back, worst case, but hopefully not. So hopefully we build the new card with the trip. So letting you go for now. I'll be back soon. All right, guys, I am back. So I've got some news for you. It's not great news, but it's all right, I guess. So I walk into this casino, start playing. I look at a couple slots, and I'm down about $60 on those. And I go to the high limit blackjack area, and I'm playing. And I check my phone when I have a break in the action, and I see I missed a call from my manager. So I end up having to leave the table and text him and ask him if everything's okay. He says, yeah, but I'm going to be calling you in a few minutes. I said, okay. So I ended up having to color up and leave. I had just sat down and only played a few hands. But, someone had come to the table, and, I had a second to look at my phone. So that's one thing. So I ended up going back to my car to wait for the call. But on the way to the car, I saw a play, sat down, played it, and ended up ahead $14 on the slots. I was ahead 100 on the blackjack when this happened. So plus 100 on the blackjack for that. And then I went back to the car and sat around for about 20 minutes before he finally called. And he wanted to tell me that they are moving someone from our compliance team to our team to help out. And that will not start until April, when I get back from my trip anyway. So it's still going to be tight between now and the time I take my trip. So that's good news. He also informed me that we have money in the budget for training, and since there aren't too many people that are experts on the products that we have, the team is going to do some trainings, including 2 pieces of software that we use. So that's fine. Unfortunately, those are 3-day trainings each. I don't know what days those are going to be, but that could really screw with my weeks. Hopefully they're online trainings, and hopefully I can finagle a way to look like I'm in the training when I'm not in the training. We'll see. I don't know. We'll find a way to weasel out of it, or we will do it in the daytime and gamble at night. Whatever we have to do to keep making money. So we're on a freight train and we're moving, and we can't stop this train. So the other thing I wanted to mention is while I was in the high limit area, I noticed the guy at the table next to me. There's only 2 tables open, and he was playing 2 by 5,000 on that table and was getting nobody watching him. So either he's a big time loser that nobody cares about and he's just going to lose it all anyway and no one cares, or if you're a card counter, you've got a hell of a system and nobody has any clue what you're doing. But there was one pit boss basically for 2 pits, and he wasn't even paying attention to this guy. I'm sure security was keeping, or surveillance was keeping some kind of an eye on him, but come on, he's playing 2 by 5,000 and nobody's even watching the table for mistakes or anything. So yeah, if you're a card counter and you're in the Midwest right now and you're playing 2 by 5,000, it's about noon on whatever the heck today is, Thursday. You are doing an awesome job. I hope you win. I haven't seen this guy before, so I have no clue if that's what's going on or not. So I decided that after talking to this manager, it was not a good idea to go back into the casino, especially since the table limits are going up now. There's another casino not too far away. I'm going to go there, and shift change is in a few minutes there. So I'll walk in, play a few slots, and by the time I go to the blackjack area, the shift would have changed. Now, you might say, well, what's the difference? You're going to be on the second shift anyway. Why do you care if the first shift sees you anyway? I do care because the less often each group of people see me, the better. Even if I'm breaking even if I'm losing money, you don't want to be seen as often. You don't want to be noticed as often, if you know what I mean. So even though these guys know me, they see me a lot, the less they see me, the better. Anyway, I might be wrong, but I don't think so. All right, so I am moving on to another casino. Unfortunately, I only made $100 there. I may come back this afternoon if I have time after the shift change at that last casino, and then I can get some more time in. So right now, letting you go, and I'll be back soon to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So something is going on around here. There are a lot of people walking around with a lot of money all of a sudden. And I'm not saying that it wasn't like that at all before, but not like this. I'm seeing so many people with so much money lately. So I go look at some slots and find nothing at all. Didn't even play anything originally. Went back to the blackjack area, played for a while, and then looked at slots again on my way out. Made a couple tiny plays and ended ahead $46 on slots. So no big deal there, not much going on there. But then I went and played some blackjack, and I go to the 2 blackjack tables that are decent tables in the whole place right now. I sit down at one, it's empty. The other one has a guy sitting there, and he looks like he's stressed out, but you never know. You never know someone's situation, but he hits a big side bet, and he's celebrating, and the dealer's rolling her eyes. My dealer's rolling her eyes because they don't like this guy. They think that he has a lot of money and that he's not a nice guy, whatever. For whatever reason, they don't want him to win. So anyway, I end up doing pretty well, and I get up and walk away. I go to the cashier, and I'm waiting in line, and this guy comes to the cashier also. I'm like, okay, well, he must have gotten what he wanted and he's done, or he lost it, because he was betting pretty big. He was betting like, whatever, 400 on the main bet and 200 on the side bet is when I saw it. I don't know what else he was doing, but he had 8 or 9,000 in front of him when I saw him. So I go to the cashier, I'm waiting, he comes over, and we start talking for a while. And I was talking about, what the heck was I talking about? I was talking to the guy in front of me about something to do with money. And he's like, I'll tell you, there's this is the time right now where you can start making money. He said, you gotta, this market right now is an opportunity to make a ton of money. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what you mean. And he gets his phone out and he shows me on his phone a graph of something that he and his friends did, and whatever it was that they invested in went from 27,000 to 807,000. And he was just showing me, and he's like, well, I'm the little guy here. These other guys are the ones making the big money. They're playing with $350 million, and I just do whatever they tell me, and I just pick up some scraps on the side. But he's talking about $800,000 scrap, So he tells me that a lot of stuff is going on, and due to the current administration that's in office right now. By the way, I ended up ahead $625 on the blackjack before I forget. So he tells me that the current administration right now is messing things up. These are his words, not mine. And that they caused Russia and China to create this currency called BRICS. I hadn't heard of that, but I know that they were talking about not buying oil in U.S. currency anymore, which makes sense. Why should they? Why should they have their enemy profit and have their enemy's currency propped up by their business dealings? And he said that right now the best thing to do would be to short the market and to only buy companies or invest in companies that are $100 billion companies and up, big companies. And he said that he thought, I am not giving advice, by the way, don't follow this because some guy told me. He said that Ford right now is paying a company $350,000 a month to store all their extra electric vehicles because they made so many and they're not selling and they don't know what they're going to do with them. And he would short Ford. He thinks it's going to go down to 9. I have no idea what it is right now, 30 or something. I have no clue. So he thinks it's going to go down to 9, and the whole market's going to crash between now and the election, and Trump's going to win the election because of it. So whatever. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like 2008 when the market crashed and right before the election, and all of a sudden some guy named Obama that nobody had ever heard of, who is a junior senator, and all of a sudden he made a big speech the year before at the Democratic convention, became famous for it, and then everyone said, well, he doesn't have any experience, let's go for him because it can't be any worse than what the people have screwed up so far. Sounds very familiar to that. So I don't know. I mean, I've for years I've thought that the stock market has had a lot of serious problems, but every time you bet on it to go down, it goes up even more because the government's propping it up. And look what happened to some of these insurance companies. Some of them failed, but some of them, the government, and even like GM and those guys, the government propped them up. They were supposed to have gone out of business in 2008, and that's where the term "too big to fail" was coined. It's too big to fail, too big to fail. So the government bailed them out. Meanwhile, people who were shorting these companies because they knew that their business model was not going to be sustainable, and with the downturn in the economy, that they would go out of business. Those people shorted those companies and should have made a fortune, and then the government stepped in at the last minute and screwed those people, and they all lost all their money because they bailed out GM and those guys. Ford was not one of those, by the way. They did not take money of all those companies. But anyway, I am at the next casino. I did a little bit of work in the car while I was driving, talked to you for a few minutes, and I'm going to hop in here and see if I can make a few bucks, and then I'll be back to update you. By the way, the guy ended up cashing out $15,000 because he hit the top prize twice on the side bet. So I thought you'd like to hear that. All right, guys, I am back. Some of these people you see in these casinos, man, talk about toe up from the flow up. Man, some of these people get drunk so early, laying around doing nothing, drinking. Crazy. Must be fun. I don't drink. All right. So, go in there, look at slots. I see 0 slots available. Man, what is going on here with these investigations coming through? Anyway, sorry, I'm multitasking here. So I see no slots. I go look at some blackjack, play blackjack for a little while, and do okay. It's not a very exciting day. It's a very dreary day, rainy day, non-action-packed day. No great hands, no terrible hands. At the last spot, I did get 2 blackjacks in a row. That was the highlight of my day. But amazingly, I had a dealer to start the shoe here, the first shoe here. I had a 19. I drew to a 19. They drew to a 19. I had 2 face cards. They had 2 face cards. I had a blackjack. They had a backdoor blackjack, which doesn't matter. I wouldn't have taken the insurance anyway. So it was a rough way to start here, but I did end up ahead there. I played for a little while. The pit boss was in no mood to talk. He didn't know me very well. I'd seen him a few times. I think he's normally the regular pit boss's manager, so I definitely didn't want to have too much exposure there, but I had some decent variance there and left ahead another $600, so plus $600 there. And then on my way out, I see a host, and this host is actually a special person because they are related to other people in the casino who would be watching you. So being on this host's good side is going to be a good thing for anybody. So I always talk to her for a few minutes. She has no clue who I am or anything. But I thanked her for being a nice person and all that stuff. And she told me she loved me. That's twice in the last week that someone at a casino has told me they loved me. So I shook her hand and I left. And on my way out, the security guard, who's like, I'll just say, a really nice guy who's a security guard. I always talk to him. He's a very, very nice guy, very humble guy. And he's like, how you doing, brother? He's like, he always asking me how I'm doing and gets upset if I'm down and things like that. So it's nice to know that these guys, between the security guard and the host whose family is in security and table games and all that kind of stuff, I seem to be pretty safe for now at this place. Now this place, although this area is they have higher level as far as limits than, let's just say, although they have high limits at this place, they have a lower threshold before there's an issue. So once you bought in for $2,500, now they're watching you. Other places in this area, usually it's $5,000 before they're watching you. So I try to be careful here. When I have friends that are working the pit, it's not as big a deal, but if I don't know someone, then I try not to spread too aggressively. So anyway, right now it is earlier than I thought it would be, and actually I'm going the wrong way. I should have actually went back and hit another casino again, but now I'm down the road a little bit too far. So I'm going to continue on to another casino unrelated to these, and we'll see what happens there. I do have a meeting coming up this afternoon, and timing wise it's not going to be great. I'll have a decent amount of time at the next spot, although it's quite a drive to the next place, and then I'll have a little bit of time to go in, look at slot machines and things like that, and then I'll be back and update you. But right now, just to give you an idea, temperature is 50 degrees, it's raining, traffic is heavy, and there's a lot of water on the road, so very slippery conditions, not ideal driving conditions at all. So I'm going to put the phone down and pay attention, and because if I get into an accident, I'll blame everyone but myself. So I'll be back. Alright guys, actually I think things happen for a reason here. If I had gone to the casino I wanted to, I would have run into this later on and it would have been a mess. So moving on to this next casino, I'm in an area, it looks like there's flooding, looks like there's accidents on the road, and there's a big delay. And for now, I'm able to take some side streets to make up for a lot of the time that I'm losing. But a lot of people are getting off on this. Oh my goodness. Wow, there's so much water. I'm actually a little bit worried here. Because the water is so close to the road and there's a lake nearby. The road is practically flooded and the water from the lake is up against the side of the road. So it's right now it's about 8 feet away from the road on both sides of the highway, of this little side road. So we'll see what happens here. Hopefully it doesn't get a lot worse. The rain is pretty bad right now. As you can hear it, I'm not sure. I'm only traveling at like 40 miles an hour, and you can hear how heavy it is. So we'll see what happens here. Hopefully we just keep going safely here, no more delays, and continue on with our trip. We can get there at a reasonable hour. Otherwise, I would have to skip the next casino. So I'm going to let you go for now, and then I'll be back and update you. Alright guys, I am back. I don't know if you remember or not, but I don't know how long it's been, maybe 6 or 8 months ago, I was in a town and there was a detour because of rain, and I couldn't understand what was going on, and it turned out that I was in an area where a tornado had just gone through. Heavy winds had knocked down tons of trees and destroyed a bunch of houses and all that. So right now, instead of a tornado, I've got heavy rains, and it's the same town. And so the highway was going so slow, this detour was a lot better as far as time. But now I'm seeing police starting to block off the streets here as the water is continuing to rise. So right now I'm actually doing 10 miles an hour. And I'm going to stop here, but this town has definitely taken a beating in the past. But I thought I'd mention this is the same place that happened. Fortunately, I'm not too far away from my destination. Unfortunately, I'm not moving right now. So we'll continue on here, and then I'll be back. Alright guys, got through most of this so far. Now I got to deal with the aftermath of it. Looks like I'm back on the main road and all that, but I'm getting close to my destination. But now there's accidents everywhere from the weather that happened a little while ago. So now I have to deal with that. I'm stopped on the highway. I'll play you a little video, some audio here of how bad the weather was, and you can judge for yourself. That's how bad it was, and that was me standing still. So that's not even me moving with the rain hitting the car. That's just the rain falling straight down. So hopefully get there soon. Only a couple miles away. It's saying about 10 minutes though. So hopefully get there soon and safely, and I'll be back and let you know how I did. Alright guys, I am back. So I walked in there. As soon as I checked the second machine, I looked over and saw another guy. He knows a little bit, but not enough. Can't make a living off it or anything like that. And he's always blowing the money back. So talked to him for a minute, and I'm like, look, I'm in a hurry. Look at this machine right here. When she gets up, you sit down and play it. Okay, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait. All right. So I walk around, take care of a couple little things. And way in the back reaches of the casino, I see this lady who also does this, which, from talking to her, she's an idiot. But she acts like she knows a lot, but then she talks about how she blows it all back. So if you know a lot, why are you blowing it back? Anyway, talked to her for a while, and then came back around to see how he did, and the seat was empty, and the machine was in the same spot. So I'm like, okay, thanks. So I sit down, I play it, and I end up making $179 on it. So whatever, $1 a spin. All you had to do was wait for 2 more minutes for the lady to get up. I made 179 off it. So on my way out, I got a chicken club sandwich, which is just a gorgeous sandwich. What did you eat today, MW? Chicken club. I had a chicken club sandwich, beautiful sandwich with bacon on it and nice Swiss cheese. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to eat that here in a minute. I already ate about half of it, but I have a meeting starting in 6 minutes. Why am I getting on the highway with all the rain still going on and a meeting starting in 6 minutes? Because I guess I just want to take the punishment. So here's what I'm going to do. I need gas in about 50 miles. There is a gas area in about 7 or 8 miles. And you know what? I'll be in the meeting. I'm just going to blow by that. And I'll get some gas after the meeting. If it starts getting close, the meeting runs long, then I'll find a place to stop. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and ride it out. The meeting should only be about half an hour, and then we'll find a place to get some gas. So letting you go for now. I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I just got some gas and continuing our trip. I am actually heading home at this point. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow's going to be potentially our last big day. I can conceivably see where things fall apart, and I don't play anymore for the next week and a half. So hopefully it's not the last day, but most likely we're going to have a big day tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow's going to be less blackjack, more slots. We're going to try some new things tomorrow as well. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, who knows? For sure Sunday's going to be a long day, but we'll try to get at least 1 or 2 other days in as well. So for now, I'm letting you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.